Hello. The title of this video is Materialism and Equality. Materialism and Equality. This will be a short one because I think I've had enough to say on this topic. Different aspects of it and so forth. In many of my previous videos, so I definitely invite you, if you want to know my whole excuse me, if you want to know my whole point of view of this issue, if you want to delve more deeply into it, I certainly invite you to watch my other videos, because in many of them I kind of more or less on this topic. It's a recurrent thread, really, through many other topics and so forth. But anyway, I want to make this short one because I've realized that epiphany, you might say, a quick, surprising, unexpected insight or realization which simply was or is a very simple and straightforward look at the core of the issue. The core of the issue. So let me sorry. Let me share it with you now. Okay? Right. So equality is an important concept. When you start talking about equality, most people would feel intuitively and so on that it's an important concept. It's an important thing to talk about. It's not a topic that you just leave behind you. Well, the brand of chips you like better. No, most people, when you bring up equality, they will have an immediate, a knee-jerk reaction to it. It's a topic which, you rarely find a person who is genuinely, honestly indifferent to it. Doesn't care either way. Equality makes no difference. What are you talking about? Equality, you mean what are you talking about? A better game to play, or a better bread of chips, or a better girl to fuck, or yeah, well, so what? Equality, whatever. That's another topic. I don't know. No. Well, the fact is, you very rarely find a person with this attitude, being a genuine, honest attitude, of course, to the concept of equality. It's when you bring it up as a topic, it is extremely rare that it leaves a person unfazed. Well, why is that? Why is it an important concept? Why is it? Quality. You think of fish, for example. Do you really care about equality among fish? Really care that every fish is or feels equal to any other fish, or for that matter, birds, or no, I don't think so. I don't think when you think of such categories of animals and so forth, even plants. Has it ever occurred to you to ask yourself the question, does this apple tree feel sufficiently equal to that pear tree? Oh, maybe it does not. It may suffer. And now that pear tree may be a bit racist towards the apple tree and so forth. And we should take an action, and we should do something about it. Oh, gee. No. Most people in their right mind do not think this way. They do not think in such terms. Why? Well, a fish is not ordinarily a slave to another fish, right? A tree is not a slave. I don't think it is. To another tree. Even though the other tree may be bigger and more vital or whatever. But nobody wants to be a slave in a human society. Everybody, more or less, wants to have the same rights as the others. Isn't that true? It's intuitive. You can see this in little children already. They take it as great injustice when another child of the same age can have or do something that they are not allowed to. They certainly have a big problem with that. Right. Now, when you speak of adults, the funny part of it is that what children on that simple, intuitive level feel as they feel naturally. They naturally feel that certain basic rights should be the same for everybody. If he can have it, I can have it. If he can do it, I can do it. If she is not allowed to do that, may not do that, then it's fine that I'm not allowed to either. Right. So that's a funny thing in a way. And you might say that in children, they feel very strongly, intuitively about this, and in that sense, or to that extent, it's you might say it's a uniting issue for them or among them. Now, when you speak of adults, it tends to become a divisive issue. You look at, you can find the most explicit or a grotesque, perhaps, expression of this in politics. You have a camp of, avid supporters of complete equality. The communists and so forth. I'll get back to them in a while. And you have a camp of the realists, the Darwinists. It's there can never be any equality because you have to food the chain and so on, and it's just the market, and somebody will always be on the top of the food chain, and he is more. He is more, has these abilities he's born with, and he's more fit to, and it's just all the natural order, and that's the way it is. Yes, sure, yeah. The invisible hand of the market decides, and I guess these chaps. The best of them, they came to Russia when it turned back from the Soviet Union into Russia, and they gave their perfect logical advice to the new Russian government. They drafted all their economic reforms and new laws and the Constitution and whatever, law on the central bank and whatever. And the result was that, you know, the Russian economy shrank more dramatically than it did after the Second World War. Whole villages and towns and cities disappeared. Many people died or committed suicide. But no, I don't want to be dramatic here. So it's a divisive issue, you know, and in our day and age, those who call themselves the realists they believe themselves to be, and unfortunately most others concur on this, that they are the man of logic, reason, you know, reality. That is the ultimate truth. And they know. And they know. You know. They are the realists. The more powerful you are, the more liberties you can take. You can do whatever you want. It's a sort of it is a sort of realism, in fact, but a short-sighted one, because they can only see a few inches ahead. They cannot see the long-term net results of their realism. Well, in any case, mind you, the term realist is also relative. It's a relative term. Do not ever forget it. They feed you with relativism from morning to evening, day in and day out. So do not for a split second believe that the category of relative should not apply to the term realism or a realist or a pragmatist and so on. It's a core part of their philosophy, so it certainly should and must apply. Realism, pragmatism, and so forth, all these terms, they also must be relative. When they insist everything is relative, then there is no reason that these terms should be exempted, right? And so a realist would mean something else, naturally, in a society run on the philosophy of materialism, as opposed to the one run on any idealist philosophy. Because in each instance, a different, very different essential realities, very different essential realities of life are recognized. So, and so these days, not just these days, but okay, let's put this on a broader philosophical basis. You have the camp of the realists, and mind you, it's a relative term, because a realist is somebody else in every different era and every different place, because he lives in a different reality, as recognized by those around him. So the realists, we might say, would be the ones that insist that inequality is a fact of life, and equality is just a lie, nonsense. It's a dangerous, seducing concept, and a very bad form of social engineering. Well, the fact is, when referring to our current Western civilization, that the very basic idea of communism, that is the idea of equality, had been borrowed from Christianity. And it was bent from the concept of equality before God, which tends to translate to, concepts such as equality before the law and so on. It was bent from that original Christian concept to the concept of social equality, and whipped up to an extreme of absolute social equality. Absolute social equality. We all must look the same, have the same, be the same, do the same, and so on. Like pigs in a shed, I guess. But all religions or idealistic philosophies of man contain the concept of equality. Isn't that interesting? In one form or another, but they all did contain a concept of equality. And this concept of equality in identifying with, let's say, the shared ideals of your society or civilization, equality in fairness and justice, equality in, truth is the truth. The truth is the truth, no matter who says it, rich or poor, of noble birth or not, one who is influential or one who is not. Truth is the truth. Equality in terms of a transcending value of human life. And these concepts, or those concepts, were and are in a sense that I believe that they will always be necessary in one form or another. They're a necessary counterpart. They represent a necessary counterpart to the existing inequality in life. Inequality in, life. Inequality in abilities, wealth, achievements, the station in life, and so on. Why? Because if you want life, if you want motion going forward, development, change, so on, advancement, or the opposite of it. Simply motion, life, change. You need opposites. Remember that. When you want motion, you need opposites. Two opposing forces. The yin and yang. The plus pole and the minus pole are the necessary prerequisites for the flow of electricity, or electrical energy, to call it correctly. And so if you demand total equality in every sphere of life, you get some sort of slavish utopia as a result. And on the other hand, if you discard the concept of equality altogether, what you get is eventually a brutal jungle and an endless war of all against all as a result. Both are the ways of materialism. Different forms or stages of it, perhaps. But the problem is not the concept of equality. The problem is applying it to its proper sphere. And that is impossible in materialism, because that sphere, the sphere of ideals, the sphere of transcending values, and so on, does not exist in materialism. It is missing, since ideals, as I took the care to define them in many of my previous videos, ideals in their true sense are impossible in materialism. Well, thanks for watching.